collectors, and welcome to the DC Coinwell International Coin Channel. We're just starting out our video live at 2 p.m. on Monday, August 3rd. And here it is, the presidential dollar coins from the United States of America for the year 2009. And many of you know about the Sacagawea coin, but many of you don't know about all the presidentials. So we'll go through the presidentials, and but we'll start with Sacagawea because this coin is just a incredibly magnificent coin. So this is a 2009 Sacagawea coin, and as some of you know, in 2009 they had moved from the regular Sacagawea coin to the Native American uh, $1 coin at commemorative series, they called it. And so this is Sacagawea, and one of the reasons you can tell that it's a commemorative is because there's no date on the front. So it says Liberty over Sacagawea's head. It says, "In God we trust" behind her. There's a baby there. There's the earring. Sacagawea was a member of the Shoshone tribe. And if we look at this, you can see why I say it's magnificent. Just look at that, the colors on that. A few little scratches here. So, but one of the other things that you can tell about this one by looking at it, it must be a San Francisco mint coin, right? Because of the way that they did the face in the surface and the flat of the coin. And then way down in here, we can see that there's a G and a G. So see how it kind of like an open-ended G. And that's for Glenna Goodacre, who designed these Sacagawea coins. And this, what a magnificent design, kind of a really cool look at Sacagawea with the hair kind of falling over the front of her head here and the baby on the back. Now, how do you know what year it is? Well, in order to figure out what year it is, you got to tip it up on the side. And the first thing you see on the side is it says E pluribus unum. Then we see that there's a number of stars there. See the stars as they go. And then we see that there is the year 2009, and then there's the mint mark, the S. So on the Sacagawea coins and the presidentials of this year, all the information about the year and the mint are going to be on the edge. And then we tip it over, we see that it's the Three Sisters. Now the Three Sisters is the famous Native American crops, and they were great, obviously, at agriculture, and they could live on the land. And so the three crops we have are, the Three Sisters are the beans, corn, and squash. And those are the Three Sisters. And you can plant beans, corn, and squash in a garden together, and they'll all get along, and they'll kind of help each other grow. It says United States of America around the top, shows the Native American woman down there. You can see the seeds coming out of her hand, I hope. And she's planting the seeds here. We got some corn here. We got some squash on the ground, and we got some, I think there's some beans here. So that's the Sacagawea coin. Next we have the presidentials, and this is a funny presidential group. So there's 4 presidential coins in these years, and 2 of the coins from this year, 2 of the presidents from the 2009 series died in office. So that's kind of what makes it odd. This is a William Henry Harrison. It says, "In God We Trust," down below it, 9th president, 1841. And some people have asked me, well, okay, he started in 1841, when did he finish? And unfortunately for William Henry Harrison, he finished in 1841. He caught pneumonia or the flu at his inauguration and died 31 days into his term. So he died on April 4th, 1841. Back then, the presidents were inaugurated on March 4th, so he was president from March 4th to April 4th, 1841, and then he died. So he's the shortest, obviously, serving president. And again, if we go to this one, we'll see that if we go up on the edge, we'll see the edge writing here. Let's get a little bit better light on that. And it's really hard to do. And see, there's the pluribus unum. And then there's the stars, and so we know what's going to come next, right? The date. And if we can get it just about right, how about right there? We see this says 2009, and then we get to here. And these are hard to see, and I'm sorry I can't illuminate them better. There's the S there, 2009 S. So, William Henry Harrison was the first of the presidents in 2009, and of course on the back it's United States of America, $1, and this is called the Presidential Series. The next president, who was really elected, uh, was not elected. He was the vice president, right? And so when he came up as vice president, let's see if we can find him. There he is right there. It's John Tyler. So when John Tyler took office, he hadn't been elected. It was the William Henry Harrison election, but he was vice president and ran with him. And so he served from 1841 until 1845. And that's John Tyler looking right. And then there's the In God We Trust. He was the 10th president, of course. And there's the years. And that's why, remember on William Henry Harrison, we said there's only one date, the 1841, and that's because he died in 1841 and Tyler took over and served until 1845. And then he did not have a second term. And again, we turn these up and we can see. Now, one of the things that people have some discussion about is which way is the writing facing. So this one, you see his face is up, but the writing faces the other way. They're both A and B sides to these. So the writing can be in the A position facing up with the portrait, or in the B position facing down when the portrait faces up. So you could get either one on these. So when you look at them, it's not going to be any value difference if you find one that's upside down or right side up. And there's the 2009, and there's the S. Who's next? Well, who started in 1845? Not him. Let's see if we can find him. There we go. James K. Polk. And again, it's In God We Trust. He was the 11th president, James K. Polk. And then let's just look at the back for James K. Polk a little bit. So it says United States of America. It actually has a Statue of Liberty on it, which of course honors our bringing in immigrants from all around the world. I'm not sure what we think about that now. At least it seems to be a little bit messy politically. So let's just keep her as a figure in there. And she, of course, is holding the book. It says $1, so that's a dollar sign and a 1. United States of America, and the torch kind of goes through this circle. And here we see that there is another inner circle going through the Statue of Liberty. These are all manganese brass coins. So they look a little gold, but they're not gold. And the value isn't really, really high. For each one of these presidentials, they're worth about $5.50 in yes version. And the Sacagawea, in part because it's so pretty and so well designed. This Sacagawea, is the valuable coin of the 5 here. It is worth between $7 and $10. And when you look at the Sacagawea, it looks a little bit different. The coloring does, but it's the same materials, the manganese brass. And then finally, I said we had 2 presidents who died in office, and here's the second of them in this group, and that's Zachary Taylor, the 12th president. And we see down underneath it says Zachary Taylor, and it says In God We Trust down here, 12th president, 1849 to 1850. So now we got another guy here, and that's only a year plus, right? Well, he lived for 16 months and he had stomach cancer. He was a hero of the Mexican-American War. I believe he was the last slave-holding president, but maybe he was not. Maybe there was one after him. So not a lot of bright lights in the Zachary Taylor administration. And when I looked him up to look at him, they said he was, he was known as being America's most forgettable president. He didn't do anything to cause the Civil War, but he didn't do anything to stop the Civil War. And there we see it's a 2009 S on this also. So we have Taylor and Harrison, the 2 that died in office in this group. Then of course, we have Sacagawea, which really does look like it's a different material, but it's just, I think they just did really good work on these Sacagawea coins, the way they polished them. Then we have Polk, and then we have Tyler, and that's our 2009 $1 United States coin set. Thanks to everybody for watching. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel and leave any comments you might have in the comments section.